Hello and welcome to our edition of Eye on Africa here on France 24. I'm Clarisse Fortuné. Let's start with the headlines. Former DRC President Joseph Kabila speaks out a day after his immunity has been lifted by the Senate. He calls the justice system, I quote, an instrument of oppression for dictatorship. Meanwhile, he now faces prosecution for his alleged backing of rebels in the east. The US accuses Sudan's army of using chemical weapons in its civil war, triggering sanctions. Sudan denies the allegations, calling them political blackmail amid a worsening humanitarian crisis. And she's a voice that transcends borders, blending soul, jazz, and African rhythms. Awa Ly, the French-Senegalese singer-songwriter known for her rich vocals and poetic lyrics, is back with a brand new album. Former DRC President Joseph Kabila made his first public statement after being stripped of his immunity. Authorities have accused him of treason and war crimes, saying there was enough evidence linking Kabila to the M23 armed group, which has taken control of several towns in the eastern region. In a long speech, he remained defiant, denouncing failures of governance under President Félix Tshisekedi. Let's have a listen.
Le cœur serré.
It's with a heavy heart that I see, 6 years after I stepped down as president, that the heritage of unity that was bestowed onto our people has been completely destroyed by the very person who was supposed to protect it. The country has become lawless. The Republic has stopped being democratic, and the word of the president has now become law.
And on leaving power in 2018, Joseph Kabila became the first former DRC leader to obtain the honorific title of Senator for Life, and with it, parliamentary immunity. But for the senators who voted for the lift, the rule of law has prevailed.
This time, the DRC must not become a sanctuary for impunity. So we're letting justice do its job. We are promoting the rule of law. No one is untouchable in this country.
In justice, you always have to see things through to the end. And I think that instead of just speculating, it's better to have a much more complete investigation.
And the US has accused Sudan's army of using chemical weapons in its civil war against paramilitary forces, prompting new sanctions. Sudan's government swiftly denied the claims, calling them political blackmail and accusing Washington of siding with its rivals. The sanctions target US exports and financing. The conflict, ongoing for over 2 years, has devastated the country, killing tens of thousands and displacing millions. As Sudan's army regains ground in key regions, the US demands an end to chemical attacks and adherence to international law. And meanwhile, civilians began to return to Omdurman after the army said Tuesday it had liberated the entire Khartoum state from RSF rebels. Laurent Bersecher has the story.
Mounted on top of carts and trucks, residents of Omdurman's Salha neighborhood triumphantly raised their arms in the air. Visibly relieved, they were finally returning home after more than 2 years of war.
Since the army retook control of Salha, everything has become easier. In the past 2 days, we felt safer than ever before.
All across the city, soldiers and civilians celebrated the liberation of the greater Khartoum region from Rapid Support Forces fighters. After being driven out of the capital itself in March, the rebels retreated to Omdurman just across the Nile River before being defeated by a large-scale army operation on Tuesday. Since then, heavily armed soldiers have been patrolling the city streets, and despite widespread destruction, residents were finally able to look towards the future.
All these things can be fixed, but the most important thing is for life to return to normal and to stop the violence, the killings and the threats. Since the army returned, we've been sleeping peacefully and haven't heard a single gunshot.
Despite the army's recent string of victories on the battlefield, the war is far from over. RSF rebels still control most of western Sudan and have in recent weeks launched a series of drone strikes, including on Port Sudan, the government's temporary headquarters, which had until now largely remained untouched by the fighting.
Amnesty International is urging for a constitutional amendment to completely abolish the death penalty from Ghana's legal framework. Despite progress in repealing certain laws, by the end of 2024, close to 200 individuals remained on death row in the country. Here's our Canada correspondent, Justice Baidu.
6 new persons were sentenced to death in 2024 alone, according to the new death sentencing and executions report by Amnesty International, with 182 existing death sentences remaining in Ghana. While the country has generally improved in some rights indicators relating to press freedom and the right to association, the report cast a bleak shadow on rights for persons within the LGBTQ community, for women and for girls. Despite the repeal of the death penalty in 2024, offenses like high treason are still subject to capital punishment.
If we are going for an eye for an eye, we're going to have a country of blind people. Killing me for killing A doesn't bring A back. That is the moral stance, if you look at it. Once you kill me because I killed A, if that brings A back, that would have been a different situation. But it doesn't solve the problem. So do we lose the two, or we correct or take the person through a certain process that can reform him or her?
Executions and death sentencing reduced by around 10% globally, according to this new report.
The EU-Zimbabwe Business Forum has just concluded in Harare. The aim was to strengthen trade and investment ties with a particular focus on sectors such as horticulture. Zimbabwe is now the fastest growing blueberry producer globally, and farmers are now looking for foreign investment to expand operations. Sharon Mazingaizo met one of those blueberry farmers.
Zimbabwe's favorable climate conditions have positioned the country to be the fastest growing producers of blueberries globally, and Europe is the key export market. The European Union is the largest buyer of Zimbabwe's horticulture products, offering the country duty and tariff-free access to its market. This is a much-given boost to the local farmers in Zimbabwe.
Our major markets, the Far East, Singapore, Hong Kong, Vietnam, and developing into China later this year, and then Europe, be it Germany, Holland, and the UK. Those are the main markets for our varieties of blueberries that we grow here. From a Zimbabwe point of view, challenges for the industry, logistics have been a little bit difficult, but we always seem to make a plan. And the marketing, we've had to learn the quality and demands of different customers, particularly in Europe. It's something we adapt to all the time.
Zimbabwe's blueberry sector is experiencing a revival. This is a much-needed boost for the country's economy and even better for the local farmers. The European Union is investing over 500 million euros in sustainable agriculture and women empowerment projects in Zimbabwe.
Now, as we are entering the weekend, it's time to take a bit of a breather. Let's listen to some music.
Brave in, brave out, feel the air all around, grounded yet lifted, where unity is found. Open up your heart, let oneness flow in the gentle breeze and storms that grow.
And to help us breathe in and breathe out and dive into our soul, singer-songwriter Awa Ly joins us tonight. Welcome. So born in Paris, based in Rome, and rooted in Senegal, Awa Ly crafts music that reflects a deeply personal and global identity. And with his latest release, Elements and Essence, Awa Ly, welcome. Congratulations on this new album.
Thank you.
Earth, Water, Air, Fire. By the way, today, May 20th is Earth Day. So how did you get your inspiration for this album?
Well, from Earth, actually, from the nature, from the nature surrounding us. And as you said, the title of my new album is Essence and Elements. And the sound healing, let's say that the sound healing is at the core of this project. And we are guided by the elements, earth, water, air, fire, the water to ground ourselves, the water to clean, and the air to be a little bit lighter, and the fire just to transcend and to transmute and to, as alchemists, to transform. And I guess that music is really a magnific tool, if I can say this like that, to soothe and to anchor and to release, and also to just for the well-being, for the wellness, for our well-being and our wellness and intern well-being, just to be able to be to the world, at the world with everyone surrounding us. And music is so powerful for that.
Music is powerful, but also for you, spirituality is at the core of what you do.
Yes, definitely, because I guess, spirits, who are we and what are we here for? And all those questions, even though I don't have the answers, this is just my truth, But I guess we are here to learn and to evolve and love, and to love as we are love, and to share this wisdom. And I guess through music, that's why I'm trying to do. And with Essence and Elements, it's definitely what I'm trying to do.
And you actually also have many languages to express all of this. French, English, obviously, Wolof. How do you decide which language to use for a song?
Well, it's not that I decide that I will write the song with this language. It's more like intuition. Maybe, some words come before the music, or sometimes it's the music that come before the words. And I'm like thinking, not thinking is not the right word, but just trying to be on the same frequency, at the sound of a language. And then they come to me. And I just can't say that I'm plugged into the ethereal, how can I say that? Maybe guided somehow. And I'm not saying this like to sound woo-hoo, but really, I really trust that artists are a vector, like a canal, also a channel to words and music and sounds, and that we need to put them into our reality.
And also said, so obviously you have Senegalese roots, born in Paris, live in Rome. So how do you manage all these different cultures to put them into your art?
This is such a good question. It's a richness. For me, it's really, it's very easy. I'm not even asking myself. It's just, I'm lucky to be from here, from there, from everywhere. I know where my roots are, and it allows me to go where I want to go and to feel at home on this planet. And I know that it's such une chance. It is.
Good luck.
Such a luck. Yeah, because I know that it's not the case for everyone on this beautiful planet of ours.
And finally, so what do you hope listeners will take away when listening to your songs, which for me are so soothing?
Merci. Thank you so much for saying this. Well, just that they will feel good. As I said before, grounded, aligned, centered, serene, peace, and connected with themselves and with the surroundings, and maybe also in somehow, between earth and sky, just to really know that we are worth everyone and each one of us to be here.
Perfect. So thank you very much, Awa Ly. And let's end this show listening for more of your songs, Summer Rain.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks.
Easy and cozy days, listening to the rain. Barefoot in the garden, love is in the air. Heart and hands wide open, ready to receive. Holy waters falling and wash away the pain. Pouring from the sky. Summer bring me this pressure. The tears in my eyes.